Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels, and we're going back to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we do the usual disclaimers, first off, we're going to try to be quick. I'm running behind. I woke up late. So, just, be prepared for that. All right, now, first, I have something to say. To the fucker who kept showing up on my stream last night, where only I could see it because I have control over my channel, and kept trying to expose his shortcomings to the panel and everybody in the chat. If you come into my stream and try to pull that shit again, I will make sure you get removed from every fucking social media platform that you are on. What in the name of God gets into your head that you think you're going to enter a stream that is talking about atrocities taking place against people with disabilities and talking about the JD versus AH case? And sure, we have a little bit of fun and some dark humor, whatever. But what in the name of God gets into your head that thinks you're going to come on my fucking stream and I'm going to let you in and have you expose yourself and your shortcomings to my goddamn audience? Are you outside your mind? Seek help. Alright. Now the usual disclaimers. Folks, as you know, NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, is being threatened with a defamation lawsuit by the JRC due to an article they wrote back in 2021 where they spoke with and polled over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the quote-unquote behavior treatment at the JRC. You're going to see the link to that article that Judge Rotenberg Center is threatening to sue over and doesn't want you to read in the description box. You're also going to see at the very bottom of the page, we are crowdfunding NeuroClastic to assist with any legal fees in order to fight these sadistic bastards who won't sue major news organizations for reporting the same thing, but are going to go after an autistic-led organization. So please, if you can spare a dollar, a dime, a penny, whatever you got, we would appreciate it, folks, okay? You're also going to find Autistic Koya's massive archive on the subject, the templates, and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. Folks, when we talk about the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones, all right? It's 9:14, folks. I'm basically going over 2 paragraphs this morning and letting you go here. So if I go too fast or stumble over my words, apologies in advance, all right? Okay, so where we left off the other day here. The June report describes JRC's alternate learning centers as a setting used to control students who present with current behavior difficulties, which require physical intervention at a high rate and for whom substituted judgments have not yet been attained. A number of JRC students come to JRC directly from psychiatric hospitals. Oh, here we go again. They're going to go ahead and, once again, compare us to prisoner inmates. They're going to compare us once again to clinically psychotic people. Yeah, thanks for that. Detention centers or prisons, there we go, and are capable of severely injuring themselves or others. So they're going to paint us all with the same brush. In actuality, The folks that are quote-unquote coming from detention centers or prisons or psychiatric hospitals is a very fucking small number. We're talking 1% of their population. But they're going to paint us all with that brush because they want you to agree that torturing us is a good idea. Yeah. Funny thing, JRC, why don't they allow this treatment with prisoners, particularly pedophiles? Why are we not using these treatments on war criminals if it's so good? I'll just leave that there. Nonetheless, all new students are assigned to regular classrooms when they first enroll, and JRC are placed in a more restrictive setting only if they pose a safety risk to themselves or others. Tell that to Jennifer Masamba. And Andre McCollins, he only refused to remove his coat. So threatening. The horror. The need for a student to be placed in a restrictive setting such as a small conference room or alternative learning center is reviewed daily by members of the student's treatment team. Treatment team that most of them, a good majority of them, have like maybe a 1-week training. And those who aren't got their 1-week training and have done literally all of their training as they moved up the ranks at the JRC through the JRC with no exposure to the outside world or alternative treatments whatsoever. Think on that for a minute. The treatment team for any student with a high frequency of dangerous behaviors. Oh, fuck, here we go again. We're radio signals, folks. We're radio signals. Is constantly working to make the student a less restrictive setting. Bullshit. Teachers are assigned to each student in a restrictive setting and meet with the students daily to go over academics. Funny. Real funny. Does that consider... Oh, well, obviously, you're disabled, so you're still fucking stupid. Go stack those sticks now, and don't you dare stop, or we're going to shock you. Great education. Great. The student is always presented with his or her academic task pursuant to the IEP goals. Again, bullshit. Major bullshit. The June report states that the majority of the staff in the alternative learning centers and small conference rooms are mental health aides, MHAs, and states that JRC employs 640 MHAs, of whom 468 only have a high school education. That is actually a fact, JRC, and it's been backed up by more than just one independent investigation. But, go off and tell us how everybody's lying but you again. 468 of the 640 MHAs, 73%, have a high school education or higher. So the majority. This is a high percentage for direct care staff as compared to other comparable programs. JRC pays the highest wage for starting direct care staff persons in our area. So you just fucking agreed with them? You're still gonna fucking tell me that a week is good enough to call them an MHA and put them in this kind of population, especially when you call them the quote-unquote worst of the worst, but a week training is good enough? And you expect nothing bad's gonna happen. And you're gonna hand them over torture devices on top of that. Oh, fuck me. How more kids are not dead than we already know of is beyond me. The June report does not explain that the primary function of these staff members is to follow the students' programs and collect data as prescribed by the students' clinicians, and that the MHAs are well trained to perform this task. A week! You train them for a week! What job? My fucking God! If you work in fast food, they give you more than a week. And you're going to sit there and tell me that these people know what they're doing and they're highly trained and proficient when you train them for a week. Fuck me. The MHA makes no decisions about which behaviors to treat with adversives. No, but they sure itself push the fucking button, don't they? A lot of behaviors to be treated for the individual student the MHA is working with is generated by the student's clinician and provided to the MHA. You mean your school fucking clinician. No other clinician I know in any other fucking state would agree to this shit. But, the JRC knows better than all of us, right? The June report also makes no mention of the layers of supervision and support that are available to all direct care staff members. Because that's not their job to care about the fucking staff. It's their job to care about the fucking students, you dumbass. Really? Each school-age student at JRC is assigned a teacher, residential supervisor, case manager, and clinician who all actively participate in the treatment and education of the student, and the clinician who all actively, as well as a continued supervision and training of the MHAs. Fuck me. And that makes it better? That you have an in-house fucking torture center with... fuck. NYSED did not request statistics regarding the JRC staff members during the April or May visit to JRC. So JRC can only assume that NYSED used the information that the JRC submitted during the September 2005 NYSED visit. Again, it's not their fucking job to care about the staff. That's your job. Your job is to make sure they're fucking properly planning, that they're trained. I don't care if they're the lowest level direct care staff on the fucking planet. You train them more than a fucking week. My God, I thought we were lax out here in Missouri, and a good majority of these people have to take at least a fucking month course in training, plus shadow another direct care staff before they're allowed to be let alone to do this sort of shit. What the fuck? If JRC staffing causes concern or is not on par with industry standard, why would NYSED not have addressed this in September 2005 and instead bring this to JRC's attention 7 months later? New York has been bringing to your fucking attention your subpar training since the fucking 70s. Really, JRC? Really? Because we've gone over the New York report, not just from this time, but from the goddamn 70s, and the 80s, and the 90s. The list goes on. They've said the same thing over and over and over again, and you have done nothing. New York got tired. JRC, that's what happened. They finally did the right fucking thing. So, folks, we live in a world where people like AH and organizations like the JRC get to tell us that everybody's lying but them and get away with it. The fact of the matter is, a week is not near enough, good enough time to train someone into the mental health field. Yes, even as a quote-unquote low-level direct care staff. That takes extensive fucking training. Extensive training, folks. Whether it's in an institutional setting, and yes, JRC, whether you fucking like it, you are a goddamn institution. By every fucking sense of the word. Sorry, not sorry. Whether it's in an institutional state or whether it's direct care staff in the home, you need more than a week's training in order to be quote-unquote proficient at your job. And even recording data, even at the direction of a clinician, you're still not fucking trained well enough in a week to be one-on-one with anyone. Period. Job shadowing? Maybe. If you have a program where job shadowing is a thing, I've seen those programs, I've seen them be successful. The person that's part of that job shadowing is they're not allowed to do fucking one-on-ones. They're not. at all, because they are not properly fucking trained and have no idea what they're doing yet. So I'm going to go ahead and leave you with that thought, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel, especially on this subject. The few that we do get tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time this morning, and as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.